The following video was recorded by a couple known for sharing lighthearted personal moments, parenting clips, funny takes on daily life, and even their thoughts on world events. But this time, they didn't post the usual. Instead, they shared something they've been battling with in silence for months, something they're now desperate to get help with. One evening, the wife walks into the kitchen ready to start making dinner for her husband and little girl when this happens.
Hy druk die hele tyd 6.
Okay, wag Kevin. Okay. Dit was net Kevin wat hom nou op 0 gesit het. So kom ons kyk nou.
Ja, maak hierdie lig.
Nee, daar alweer. Oh shit, alweer 6. Kyk haar.
According to the couple, whatever's in that house seems to manipulate anything it can in the kitchen. This time, it was the microwave. But other nights, the blender would switch on by itself in the middle of the night. Knives would be found laid out neatly on the counter after they were certain they'd put them away, and the faucet would run full blast without anyone near it. Whether it's a ghost with a strange fixation on kitchen appliances or something else entirely, they can't say for sure. But after seeing this footage, what do you think is really going on in their home? This next video is about a man named Leo who has an unusual but passionate hobby, collecting dolls, especially Barbie, Ariel, and vintage toys. While some might find it odd, there's actually a large community of doll collectors who value them for their craftsmanship, the nostalgia they evoke, and even the sense of preserving history. Some even believe certain dolls carry personalities or an aura, which makes the collection feel almost alive. A few weeks ago, Leo added a new doll to his collection, but ever since, something strange has been happening. Every single morning, he finds it lying on the floor, close to the door, but before jumping to conclusions, Leo decided to rule out all logical explanations, so he set up a camera in his doll room. One night, the footage revealed something he wasn't prepared for. Watch.
This goes here.
Apparently, the doll isn't the only problem. If you look closely, you'll notice a toy car moving on its own, with no one in sight, and according to Leo, it took hours before he was able to find that toy car the next morning. Some claim he may have brought home an attachment, a spirit linked to one of his secondhand dolls. They believe certain dolls can carry the energy of a previous owner, and if that owner has passed, the spirit might continue to linger. Others suggest it might not even be the doll, but something in the house using the toys as a way to communicate. A moving toy car, in particular, is sometimes linked to child spirits, but also to trickster entities that mimic children to gain trust. Now, Leo's instinct is telling him to move, but viewers warn him that simply leaving won't help. If the haunted object is in his possession, the spirit will follow him. According to them, the only way to stop it is to cleanse all dolls and toys. He hasn't posted any updates since, so for now, we can only hope he's managed to rid his home of whatever, or whoever, was causing these unsettling events. The following video is about a lady who had just gotten the keys to her new home. and had plans on how she'd decorate and make it her own. But she had not even moved her furniture in yet when the first strange incident happened. Watch this. If you put on headphones, you can clearly hear footsteps, and judging by the way her cat is staring, you'd agree it could sense a presence. But the second time, what she heard was far more unsettling. This time, she could hear bangs coming from upstairs, and recurring noises in the same area are often thought to mean a specific room or spot is a hot zone, a place where energy gathers or where something happened in the past that left a spiritual imprint. Also, footsteps often signal a spirit announcing its presence, but when those escalate to aggressive bangs, it's a warning or even an attempt to intimidate. The next time it happened, she was home completely alone, and what the camera captured this time wasn't footsteps or bangs, it was something else entirely. If you turn up your volume, you'll hear the sound of a door closing, as if someone was either coming in or leaving. But when you piece this pattern together, footsteps, bangs, and then a door closing, many believe the spirit is retracing the moments before a traumatic event, or worse, acting out its last living movements. Whether it's an intelligent haunting or an echo from the past, it's hard to say, so like many stories of this kind, this one remains unresolved. This next clip is about Steve, a man who's made it his personal mission to prove that the paranormal is real. He often runs experiments late at night, using everything from motion sensors to EVP recorders. But on this particular night, he decided to keep it simple. He called out to any spirit that might be present, and then this happened.
Let's do this one together. So I'm standing here and I'm calling out to a spirit right now because the night before, she or him came right out from where the door is. Again, as I called, here he comes, or she. But it's a beautiful blue orb, beautiful spirit. I'm sure they're here to protect me, or they're just happy to be here.
According to Steve, this glowing blue orb is a protective spirit, a benevolent presence that watches over him, and he feels honored to have captured what he calls its beautiful energy on camera. But the thing is, in the paranormal world, blue orbs often carry very different meanings depending on who you ask. Some believe it's a sign that a kind and guiding entity is near, often protecting a home or warning against danger. Others see them as messengers from loved ones who have passed on. But not every interpretation is comforting. There are even stories where such orbs appeared before a major disturbance or emotional upheaval, almost as if they were heralding something to come. So, is Steve right? I'll let you be the judge. In this next clip, Jen is convinced there's a ghost in her home, and according to her, it's been toying with her for weeks, but now she finally has proof. Jen's house is fitted with an alarm system that's hard to mistake, especially the one connected to the back door. If the door is unlocked, hit, or opened, a loud voice announces, "Back door open." It's the kind of system that's supposed to make you feel safer, but in Jen's case, it did the opposite. One quiet afternoon, she was taking a nap with her dogs curled up beside her and her daughter sitting just a few feet away, scrolling on her phone. Suddenly, the alarm blared. "Back door open." She jumped up immediately, but to her shock, her daughter hadn't moved and no one was at the door. They both heard the announcement, yet the back door was shut and locked. Her children have also been telling her about whispers they hear in the corners of the house, but she brushed it off. Until one night while the family slept, the camera captured this.
This is how we use the pieces of which is possible to do. Like extremely difficult. This is all these leverages. But also not built any chance of the detective learns about these systems warehouse. They must are extremely suspicious of easy to kill. Behind a big wall, you find another shredded victim.
You can clearly hear footsteps, but by morning, nothing had been stolen. So if it wasn't a break-in, whose footsteps were they? It didn't stop there. Soon, her children started hearing a voice that sounded exactly like hers calling their names, even when she was sitting right next to them, silent. One afternoon, she finally caught it on camera. Watch.
I'll let you do it, but let me tell you, I'll hold this part for you and then you do it here. Let go. Here. It's just this.
This time, it's a man's voice, calmly saying, "I'll be there." And with each incident, her children grow more unsettled. After she posted these clips, many viewers urged her to research the property's history, suggesting it could be the case of a lingering energy from a violent crime, an unsolved disappearance, or perhaps the land itself holds a darker history, like a burial site or a former battlefield. Still, no explanation has been confirmed, so like other videos, this remains a mystery. If you've been watching this channel for a while, then you'll know Ian, better known as the Midwest Ghost Hunter. He's fearless when it comes to the paranormal, the kind of investigator who doesn't back down, no matter how many ghost stories surround a location. But this next encounter came dangerously close to breaking his nerve. He was exploring a very creepy abandoned house that many said is haunted by the ghost of the entire family that lived there. Of their 11 children, 4 died young. Minnie, the mother, succumbed to a stroke in 1955, and Fred, the father, passed away 3 years later, peacefully but still within these walls. Since then, guests had reported phantom footsteps, knocks on the walls, disembodied voices, and old-fashioned music with no source. Some swore they'd seen Minnie's apparition, still tending to her home. Others felt Fred's unseen presence tugging at their blankets in the master bedroom. And upstairs, the sound of giggling children often accompanied toys that moved on their own. Yet, Ian still decided to go alone, and even worse, spend the night. At first, the house was eerily quiet, but when he made it upstairs, his camera caught this.
Is there anybody upstairs? Oh, I thought I heard a creak up there. Hello? Whoa, what the f***? Dude, I just saw a fucking shadow. Holy shit. was right up here. Hello? There was somebody standing like right there. Who's up here? I just saw somebody here. There was literally a dark mass standing at the top of these steps. I saw it in the flash of the camera. I'm gonna look and see if I can find it. Oh my God, what the fuck is that? Dude, it's right there. It's like a shadow. I caught that in the photo.
Ian heard a single creak, and when he raised his camera, a dark humanoid shadow was there at the top of the staircase, transparent yet unmistakably there. For a moment, Ian wondered, could this have been Fred, the protective father, watching over his home? Or was it something far darker, a presence announcing itself, daring him to climb the rest of the stairs? For more hunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. In the following video, Marcus Belton was driving home through Ravens Hollow, Maine, exhausted after a long shift and just wanting to crawl into bed. But as he entered his street, his headlights lit up his driveway and he saw something that took him off guard.
Okay, so I just got home from work and there should be nobody at my house right now. I mean, it should be completely empty. But I just pulled up and what is that? Is that a person? What the fuck is that? There should be nobody in the house. Nobody at all. Okay, well. Guess I'll check it out. Okay.
Someone in a dark hoodie was standing really still and silent by his door, almost like they had been waiting for him the whole time. This was strange because Marcus lived alone, wasn't expecting anyone, and nobody had a spare key, so whoever that was, they definitely weren't supposed to be there. He stepped out of the car and hurried toward the house, but by the time he reached the door, the figure had vanished. Just like that, no sound, no running, no one walking away, like the person disappeared into thin air. Marcus looked around, checked for prints or any sign someone had actually been there, but he didn't find a single trace. He tried to make sense of it, but the only explanation that stuck was the one he didn't want to believe. A paranormal entity had been there. This video was recorded at a primary school in Ohio where students and teachers often joke about a ghost said to haunt room 3B. You'll hear things like, "Say hi when you walk past room 3B, he likes it." Everyone knew who he was supposed to be, the ghost of a little boy who died long ago and, according to legend, never really left. Most people laughed it off as a harmless story, but that all changed one night when a janitor heard light giggling echoing through the empty hallway. That moment stirred curiosity among some of the teachers, and one Friday evening, they decided to stay late and check the school's security footage from the hallway outside room 3B. They watched in silence, expecting nothing, but then something happened.
Я к нему как-то уже лояльно.
Ну так спокойно.
И что, на одном месте?
Мы все здороваемся с ним теперь.
Да, я ему говорю, привет.
Видишь ребенок?
Видишь, как ребенок.
Когда выходит на черное, его сильно вообще видно. Снимает. Иди сюда, мы же его...
Не верю.
Мы забыли вывести, это можно
Вот,
уже на большой экран вывести.
Смотри на большом экране.
Смотри.
Вот ходит, сейчас спустится. Вон он идет, видишь?
Видишь? Вот здесь вообще как ребенок, смотри, да?
Капец, серьезно, ты видишь? Ну, конечно, вот и в телефоне вот оно тоже.
И в
вот оно
актовом
написано.
зале их там 3 штуки играют.
О, ничего
вечером.
себе.
Но они летают.
Они
Здравствуйте.
летают, как бы
Они там
играют.
не ходят, они
А
летают.
вон сейчас уже на
А я
стенке,
подошла туда
на
к
стенке.
лестнице. К лестнице. Это включила, ничего не снимает телефон там.
At first, it was faint, like a shadow that shouldn't have been there, but as they leaned closer, it looked like a little kid. It started moving, and within seconds, it was gone. Most would have dismissed it if it wasn't caught on camera, but this time, the evidence was undeniable. The footage was later submitted to the school board and eventually shared with a local paranormal investigator. For now, Room 3B remains locked after hours, not because of fear, but because they're waiting to see if it happens again. And if it does, the next step might not just be investigation, it could be a full-on cleansing. Devin Hale is a 34-year-old architect living alone in a quiet neighborhood just outside Portland, Oregon. One evening, while relaxing and watching TV like usual, he suddenly heard a loud crash from the kitchen, like a whole stack of plates hitting the floor. He jumped up, ran to check, and that's when things got real. Watch this.
Excuse me. Are you back there again? This has become its favorite spot. Now, and there he is. Okay, that's enough water, please. Okay. Everyone can see you in their reflection, bud. Everyone can see you in their reflection. And it's gone. Okay. I know he's not in here, but I just want anyone who's watching to see. This is too small, but just like it's not. I just wanted you to see. The cabinets are knocking again. I'm leaving. Out. That's enough for today.
He stood there trying to convince himself he had imagined it, because that's what we all do, right? But then the kitchen tap turned on. And no, it wasn't one of those motion sensor types. His tap needed to be turned manually. Still confused, but trying to stay calm, he walked over and turned it off, thinking the problem was solved. But as soon as he stepped back, the tap turned on again. The fact that he had to turn it off himself meant something else must have physically turned it on, and that something was certainly not human. He decided to check the laundry room next door, but as he approached, he saw a dark shadow shaped like a person. He ran into the laundry room, which was completely empty, but he was absolutely sure someone or something was watching him. Ever since that night, the tap in Devin's kitchen has developed a creepy habit. Every single night at exactly 8:13 p.m., it turns itself on. Devin has tried plumbing repairs and even got a new faucet, but nothing changed. At this point, there's no other way to explain it. This was definitely a ghost. He sent the footage to a group of investigators, and based on the behavior and strength of the entity's presence, they concluded it was a demon. I hope he receives all the help he needs. I hate seeing kind and normal people pulled into the world of the paranormal, especially when all they wanted was a sense of peace or closure. Eric and Naomi Dalton live in a quiet neighborhood in Flagstaff, Arizona, and had been missing Eric's late father more than usual lately. One afternoon, in a lighthearted moment, they joked about asking for a sign. One of those, "If you're out there, give us a hint." Moments you never expect to actually work, but what followed made them wonder if someone had truly been listening. Around 12:40 p.m., they were checking on their dog through their indoor camera when they noticed something unusual. See for yourself what the camera picked up. Before you dismiss it as faulty wiring, Eric explained their bedroom faces the bathroom and there's no shared lighting between the rooms. Plus, their blackout curtains are thick and pulled all the way down, so no light should be coming through at all. At first, the faint glow might look like a trick of the eye or a smudge on the camera lens, but Then the light begins to move, slowly and deliberately, like someone waving a dim torch back and forth. But this wasn't the first strange thing to happen in their home, but it was the first time it happened in daylight, and Eric said it felt different and stronger this time, like someone or something was truly listening. They've since saged the house, kept a nightlight on in the hallway, and tried to pretend things are back to normal. Hopefully it stays that way. Camille Moreau is a single mom living in Lyon, France, and not long ago, she moved into what she thought was her dream apartment. But it didn't take long before that dream started to feel like a nightmare she couldn't wake up from. One night, just as she was about to fall asleep, she heard a loud bang from somewhere inside the apartment and walked toward the bathroom. She wasn't prepared for what happened next. The toilet seat moved all by itself, and Camille ran into the next room to catch her breath. But before she could even process what she saw, a picture frame that had been sitting perfectly still for weeks fell flat on its face. Things escalated quickly, and before she could move, the door slammed shut, the lights began to flicker, random objects rolled across the floor. Then a slow, eerie melody started playing from somewhere inside the walls, like the building itself was singing. Scared for her kids, Camille did what any good mother would do. She sent her kids to live with their father, but she's still stuck there because all her savings went into that apartment, and now she's asking for help. She has reached out for help and is hoping a paranormal expert can step in and bring some peace back into her life. We wish Camille the best in banishing this spirit once and for all. Some videos are not about what was seen, but more about what was heard, and trust me, it's the kind of sound that stays with you long after the video ends. A family in Pennsylvania decided to check their doorbell camera after the motion detector went off around 3:17 a.m., and when they looked, there was no person outside, no package was dropped off, it was just light. Watch closely and listen carefully to what they found. Small, glowing shapes floating and swirling like they had a mind of their own. But what really gives you chills isn't the light, it's the sound. The faint, scratchy voice loops repeatedly, saying, "Can you tell me how to get?" And that's it. The question never finishes. It just repeats, over and over. Like someone stuck in time, trying to ask something they never get to say. Some believe it's a lost spirit asking for directions in the only way it knows how. Others think it's simply residual energy trapped in a loop. But with no one there, no interference, and no technical faults to explain what was captured, this was certainly a ghost. A security supervisor at a museum in California worked there for 3 years, and from day one, people warned him the elevator was haunted, but he dismissed it as just another strange workplace story. Over time, the weird stories kept coming, and during one of his night shifts, at exactly 3:40 a.m., he witnessed something he couldn't explain. Watch what the camera caught that night. The inside light of the elevator by Wright suddenly turned on, and it stayed on for nearly an hour and a half, until 5 a.m. The next day, they ran a full diagnostic on the elevator, electrical tests, door sensors, motion detectors, but there were no malfunctions, no power surges, absolutely nothing to explain what happened. But let's be real, elevators don't activate themselves for over an hour without cause, and if no one was inside, then something else was. Whether it was the restless ghost people whispered about, or a more powerful entity tied to the building, one thing's clear, this wasn't a glitch. It was paranormal. Shortly after, they brought in a priest to bless the building, and the elevator specifically. They even closed off the elevator for 2 weeks. We hope this will be the end of the paranormal activity. Jane and her partner recently booked a night at a hotel they've heard several stories about, like doors opening and closing on their own, and guests checking out early with pale faces and nervous laughter. But instead of getting scared, they got curious. They didn't just want stories, they wanted proof, and that's exactly what their camera caught.
It's okay. I can see you. Come to me. Are you a little boy? It's okay. Come here. It's okay. I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me, but it looks like it's going like back and forth. You see a movie? See a movie? It's okay.
No, wait. Come back.
Where?
No, you come back. Go straight. Look straight. Towards me. No. Turn towards me like you were earlier. Put your back towards me.
With no footsteps and no sound at all, the shadow was still, till it started moving. Instead of freaking out, Jane leaned forward, but her partner was clearly feeling nervous, so he told her to step back, and that's when a shadow moved across the room. It looked like the shadow of a child, and was fast like something alive and playful. The couple barely slept that night, and when the sun came up, they packed their bags and checked out without looking back. After reviewing the footage back home, Jane and her partner decided to send it to a local paranormal investigator who had studied that hotel for years. What he told them confirmed what they already felt in their gut. The shadow wasn't a trick of the light. In fact, similar sightings had been reported before, all pointing to the same room, the same childlike figure. The expert believes the spirit might still be searching for her family, for peace, or simply for someone to notice. One thing's for sure, now that she's been seen again, the activity may only grow stronger. Kelsey Davis always thought being a mom meant dealing with tantrums, toys scattered across the floor, and the occasional sleepless night, but never in her wildest dreams did she imagine that bedtime would become the most terrifying part of her day. It started when her young son began having full conversations with no one there, pausing like he was listening to someone speak back. She brushed it off at first as just an imaginary friend, but something about the way he responded didn't sit right with her. One night, she decided to record him.
Good night.
Who are you saying goodnight to?
Him. Good night.
Who?
Him. Good night.
Jagger, there's no one up there.
Him up there.
Show me.
Him up there. Him up there.
Jagger, there's no one up there. He's been talking to that vent and then he was blowing it kisses. And I'm creeped out now. Like, seriously, I'm not joking. I'm so creeped out right now.
Her son stood in his room, looked toward the ceiling, and calmly said goodnight to an empty corner. Kelsey didn't see anything unusual, but the room didn't feel right, so she shared the footage with a group of ghost hunters to see if they could make sense of it. For now, the situation remains unresolved, and while the activity hasn't stopped, she's hoping the team steps in soon to help figure out what is sharing the room with her son. Jake never believed in ghosts, not as a kid, not as a teen, and not even after his uncle passed away, leaving behind his old garage where he spent most of his time fixing things. The space had been untouched for years, his tools still on the bench, his jacket still on the hook, like he'd be back any minute. Then one night, something strange happened. While Jake was scrolling through his phone, he heard the door slowly open on its own, and while he brushed it off at first, the light inside turned on by itself. But the switch was an old manual one, so it made no sense that it would come on by itself. He checked the footage again and again, searching for some explanation, convinced he'd missed something, but the video showed no movement until he turned the volume up and heard uneven footsteps coming from inside the garage. This only convinced him the situation was far from ordinary, and that sometimes the dead don't rest quietly, they just keep doing what they always did, waiting for someone to notice. This next clip comes from a creator named Chai, someone known for her hilarious takes on everyday life, relatable skits, and the kind of content that makes you laugh even on the toughest days. But recently, she posted something that felt completely different, something personal, unsettling, and impossible to explain.
Okay, who is it?
Daddy. Daddy's right there.
Is it your daddy?
No, it's your daddy.
Is where?
Daddy's right there.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, show me.
See?
Oh.
Your daddy's missing you.
My daddy's missing me?
That's your dad.
Let's go get him. Where'd he go?
In you.
Okay, show me.
Chai's 2-year-old daughter stands quietly in the hallway, calmly repeating the words, "Dad is missing you." What makes this feel truly strange is that Chai's father passed away in 2002. Her daughter had never heard stories about him, never seen a photo, and yet she spoke as if she'd known him all her life. Now, Chai finds herself caught between believing this was just a coincidence or something else entirely, something trying to lure her into that room. She hasn't stepped inside for months, and it's hard to blame her because anyone in her position would be left wondering what might happen if they walked into that room. Few days into the new year, Alex, who worked in an ancient building, got stuck working a late shift alone. When he was about to leave and locking up, something terrifying happened. Have a look.
What was that? Caleb? Yeah? Did you hear that?
He heard a voice that was like someone calling out for help. Alex knew he was the only one left in the building. He still turned to look, more out of instinct than reason, but the hallway was empty. The next day, unsure of what to make of it, he decided to look into the building's history, just to see if there was anything that might explain what he'd heard. But what he found was far more disturbing than he could have imagined. Years ago, a janitor had been working that same hallway when a maintenance door came loose and fell, trapping him behind it. And though he called out again and again, his voice echoing through the corridors, no one heard him in time. After learning that, Alex was convinced the voice he heard wasn't just in his head, it was the echo of a spirit still waiting to be heard. Since then, he's made sure he's never the last one to leave. Cameras don't lie, they catch what we miss. Moments we're too distracted to notice, and sometimes signs that something paranormal might still be out there. Melissa, a single mom living in Asheville, North Carolina, had been noticing something strange outside her home for months. Like someone walking past at odd hours, always just out of view. Hoping to ease her mind, she installed a small security camera above the front door, just to see if anything was really there. One evening, after returning home from dinner with her daughter Ava, they got a notification that the camera had picked up a strange movement, and what they saw caught them completely off guard.
Oh shit, who's that? Scary.
A man was walking slowly along the sidewalk in front of their house, but just as he reached a certain spot, he vanished. They rushed outside, hoping to find footprints or some sign of where he'd gone, but there was nothing, not even a single sign that anyone had been there at all. When they shared what happened with their neighbors, they learned they weren't the only ones who'd seen something strange. One neighbor even mentioned that the exact spot where the man disappeared used to be an old bus stop, and that back in 1989, a terrible accident had taken place there. Melissa didn't need convincing anymore. She already knew what this was, and that night she lit a candle and placed it on the windowsill, and from that moment on, they never saw the man again. This was definitely a paranormal activity, and whatever was lurking around their street just needed help getting home. Derek is the kind of man who appreciates quiet moments like when the kids have gone to bed and the only sounds left are the soft breathing of his wife beside him. But one night, after finishing an episode of American Dad and switching off the television, he heard something. Watch this moment and listen closely. A dragging noise, like something heavy had been pulled across the floor, came from the dining room. But their dining set was the kind that doesn't move unless someone makes it move. So Derek was trying to understand how something so heavy could have shifted so loudly without a single person out of bed. He didn't check right away because the noise reminded him of something that had happened years ago when every cabinet in the kitchen slammed shut at the same time in the middle of the night. He and his wife rushed into the kitchen expecting a mess, but everything was in place. No broken plates, no open doors, just silence. Within a few days, Derek reached out to a small paranormal team that had investigated homes in the area before, and after visiting the house, they confirmed what he feared most. The activity wasn't random, it was deliberate, and whatever it wasn't just passing through, it was claiming space. I hope things get better after this intervention, but with how active the house has been, Derek's not so sure. For now, all he can do is wait, and hope the next sound isn't closer than the last. The following video is about a man named Tyler who had always imagined that moving off-grid would bring peace. The kind of peace that comes from stepping away from city noise, endless traffic, crowded neighbors, and all the clutter and chaos of modern life. For a while, it did. His home sat alone on a hilltop, surrounded by trees, with no neighbors for miles. But one night, at 3:18 a.m., Tyler's phone buzzed with a single ring notification from the camera pointed toward the tree line, and although he didn't check it right away, convincing himself it was probably nothing, the next morning he opened the app, and this is what he saw. A figure moved across the edge of the frame, dressed in white, gliding forward with a strange, rigid stillness, its clothes untouched by the wind, its steps too smooth, too controlled, like it wasn't walking at all, but floating, unaware or maybe uninterested, that a camera was watching, and just as it appeared, it vanished into the trees. Tyler rushed outside, checking every inch of the fence line for footprints or broken branches, or any sign that someone had been there, but there was nothing. No trail, no marks. And ever since that night, he hasn't slept quite the same. I guess living off-grid keeps people out, but it doesn't promise you'll be alone. It just strips away the noise, the distractions, the excuses, and leaves you alone with what's really there. Some fears don't need a reason. They live quietly in the backs of our minds, and for Jordan, basements had always stirred something he couldn't explain, a quiet unease that never really left no matter how often he tried to dismiss it. So when his grandparents invited him to visit their old farmhouse tucked deep in the back roads of Ohio and offered him the basement guest room, he smiled and agreed, even though something in him said no. The first night felt normal, until just after 2 a.m., when a strange vibration rolled through the floor, followed by a sound he couldn't place. He sat up, reached for his phone, and started recording to be sure he wasn't making it up.
The fuck was that?
The sound was like a broken trumpet, and it was too close to ignore. The next morning, he uploaded the clip, hoping for answers, but instead, people pointed out something he hadn't noticed at all. In the background, just behind the basement window, was a pale face that was watching. Jordan never got a clear answer about what he saw that night, but ever since, he keeps the basement light on, just in case. But this might not be the solution, because some fears don't go away, especially once they finally have a face. In the following video, Kelsey shares a strange experience that took place just days after a heartbreaking loss, and she even shares what she thinks might be behind it. Now, just for context, Kelsey's grandfather was a huge believer in ghosts and spirits, and he always told her that if he ever made it to the other side, he'd find a way to prove he's still around. Sadly, he passed away on November 12th, 2023, and 2 days later, Kelsey woke up to this.
See? What the? What the? Nobody's down here.
For some reason, the lights downstairs were flashing, and at first she assumed one of her kids had gotten out of bed and was messing around. But here's where it gets strange. As she reaches halfway down the stairs, the lights suddenly turn off and stay off. But with nothing unusual in sight, she goes back to bed. A few moments later, it happens again, only this time she wakes her husband and they both go to check. And once again, right when they get halfway down the stairs, the lights turn off and stay off. Now, this is where things start to get pretty creepy. Ever since that night, it hasn't happened again, so now Kelsey is left wondering, is this just faulty wiring, a coincidence, a sign from her grandpa like he promised, or something else entirely? Some viewers believe it was a gentle message from her grandpa. Others aren't so sure, and some wonder if it wasn't her grandfather at all, but something else entirely. Like other videos, I'll let you come up with your own conclusions. Now, this next video comes from Kuma, a content creator who usually posts casual moments from his everyday life, time with friends, and life around the city. But viewers get completely thrown off when he shares something way creepier, an unsettling encounter inside his new home, which used to be a church before it was converted into a community space. Before we get into the footage, here's what you need to know. Kuma had barely been living in the house for 3 days when he started hearing unexplained screams and strange noises echoing through the building late at night. And according to him, the strange activity seemed to intensify right after he and his friends had a conversation about the paranormal events that happened at his old place. But it gets a whole lot stranger when his friends come over one evening and they actually catch something on camera. Have a look. This white balloon was gently drifting through the hallway like it had somewhere to be, but the moment they decide to follow it, and as they're talking about how bizarre it is, the balloon suddenly stops, then begins moving faster, this time chasing them instead. At this point, they panic and run.
Separate? No. Like, move away from it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was like, no. It is what in the
Say faster, motherfucker.
It continued to get quicker and more aggressive.
If it comes towards us, I'm grabbing shit, we're dipping.
But here's the strange part. Somehow, the balloon ends up exactly where they run to, and the way it moves, it's not random. It drifts with intent, slowing down, then speeding up, like it's choosing where to go next.
In here. Is it right here? Oh, hell no! Oh, shit! What in the... If it comes in towards... up,
The noise you hear is a small electrical box that has the littlest airflow that has ever existed.
Dude, no.
Oh, it's being blown around.
Okay, wait, maybe it's done now. Dude, you snapped over that way. Why? Why? Dude, no, because like my phone's actually like glitching out too. Why the Hold on. Dude, we're gonna have to walk home. Okay, that was that. Oh, wait, no. That was that. Okay, we might have got it trapped. Is it cold?
Oh, there's barely even coming out of it.
Why is it going so fast then?
Move.
There's no air in that shit.
It eventually stops at the base of the stairs, almost like it's deciding what to do, maybe watching them split up and trying to figure out who to follow. But when one of the friends heads to the other side of the building to investigate further, he sees something else.
The second one snuck down the stairs and jolted upwards. We investigated, and there were no signs of force there anywhere at that time.
You can come back down here and join us. You probably just got pushed by some air.
I know it's probably frustrating to have been pushed around by all that air, but as you can see with the other balloon, it's not as windy over here in the middle by us.
It went almost the same route as the first balloon.
And guess what it's doing? Are you gonna come join us, or are you gonna go downstairs?
Apparently, there's two of them. After quietly monitoring it, the balloon drifts quietly into the gym and settles in a shadowy corner of the room where it stops moving completely. Now, looking back at the video, viewers point out that while it might seem funny at first, there's something really unsettling about the movement of these balloons, especially when you remember this building had years of untouched history. And who knows what may have taken place within those walls. Somehow, the whole thing feels like more than coincidence and remains a mystery. This next clip shows Luke having a quiet evening when he decides to check his CCTV footage just out of curiosity, but what he finds completely throws him off. Watch.
So I'm currently home alone, watching my CCTV. Mind you, my masks are right up there. What the f is this? So like I said, I'm watching this bullshit as if that's not freaky enough. At midnight, home alone. What's really creeping me out is the fact that there is a mask on my fridge. Here, let me zoom. That's not my mask. My mask is behind me. So I don't know who put that mask here. Bro, what the f? Where'd the f***ing mask go?
While Luke is still trying to explain, it suddenly disappears, almost like something removed it entirely. But this incident gets a whole lot stranger because after sharing the clip online, viewers start pointing out something Luke hadn't noticed before, and the reaction forces him to make a pretty big confession, along with a brand new wave of concern. Here's what he shared.
I didn't expect this video to blow up, but since y'all are asking, we live up in this hoe. We live. The masks are up there. But I'm going to shoot you guys straight. I did put a mask on top of the fridge. But what I can't seem to understand, and what I'm actually kind of fucking freaked out about, is the fact that there was a silhouette. See, I hate to be the bearer of bad news because I did put this mask over there. I'll admit it, I did. But what's freaking me out is you guys pointing out the fact that there's a silhouette. I don't know what's casting a shadow here or what's going on here, but like, I did have to turn on the lights after this because you guys started pointing this out. I turned on the lights and put on the office because what the f*** is Michael Myers up in my house? What the fuck just happened? That's some bullshit. Alright, so there's the fridge that I put the mask on top of. It was sitting right up there. There's the piece of paper, but I have no idea what could have casted the shadow or made the silhouette. I'm still confused by this. It's freaking me out. I don't know.
Some viewers believe something inside the house has taken form, that whatever presence may be there has chosen a face and is starting to make itself known. And with the growing number of strange things he's experiencing, he's starting to wonder if whatever this is might not stop here. Luke also admits that there have been odd things happening around the house for a while now, things he thought were nothing until this video started getting traction. Luke is still confused by it all, and honestly a little unsettled because somehow what people saw in this clip is worse than what he originally posted. Paranormal or not, something doesn't feel right here. In this next clip, Alea shares some strange activity that's been happening in their home, particularly in their bedroom. According to her, things have been visibly moving on the bed in ways that don't make any sense. One night, she sees this when she decides to check her security camera footage, and when she turns around and something even more unsettling was happening. Take a look. You can clearly see the cover shifting, like something is crawling under it. But there's no wind, no air vent, and Alea explains that the background noise is just white noise from her TV. which she was recording at the time. She also points out that the bed is flat on the floor, making it even more confusing. And what makes this even more unsettling is the timing. Alea had recently lost 2 significant people in her life, both within just 5 months of each other. So naturally, the idea that this could be connected isn't easy to ignore. But this is where things start to get pretty creepy. One comment in particular caught Alea's attention, someone warning that the activity might escalate. And they weren't wrong, because not long after, this happens.
That's never done that.
That cabinet had never acted up before until the bed activity started, and from there, it's been one strange event after another. Nothing in the house feels normal anymore. Now, Alea and her husband aren't exactly scared because they've lived in a house with what they believe was demonic energy before, but this time, they're just trying to figure out what exactly they're dealing with. So, did Alea capture something paranormal? Or is there another explanation for what's going on in their home? You decide. This next video comes from content creators who work off the coast of Maine and describe themselves as the lobster captains of the FV Frequent Flyer. While filming one of their usual drives, they pass an old, decaying house sitting alone in the woods, and what they capture on camera leaves them completely baffled. Watch.
So this house, the first time we passed it, Chase said the bottom part was not blinking. It was on, but it wasn't blinking. See how the different lights are at different intervals? The kitchen light being on. And then in the fire room over there's a light that's going off and on. No one lives here. I think that this house may be haunted. Chase is gonna go inside and check it out.
Fuck you, I am.
Ladies and gentlemen, this house is vacant right now. And it's more than one electrical circuit, so it can't be one malfunctioning.
For some reason, the lights inside the house are flickering, but here's the weird part. The creators confirmed that the owners live out of state and did not have power on. So, what exactly is going on in this house? A year later, they returned to check on the same property, and what they captured this time is even more unsettling. Take a look.
Who would pay for electricity? Whoa, something just changed. Did you just see that? Something most definitely just changed.
What changed?
One of the lights paused for a second. There's no cars. It's 10 o'clock at night. This is 1 year later. Now, we did meet the girl that grew up here. This was her childhood home. She absolutely 100% said it was haunted.
She actually made
a video. What is her screen name? Jenna
something, I can't remember.
She 100% confirmed that this house is haunted. I just can't imagine anybody keeping the fucking power on for the lights to blink.
Now, aside from the creators confirming their story with someone named Jenna, things take a strange turn in the comments section. Jenna's sister, Alyssa, leaves a message confirming the house is, in her words, haunted. She writes, Jenna is my sister, and I am also going to confirm that this house is haunted. Another very strange thing the creators revealed was that the house had been abandoned for years, but the family never put it up for sale and simply just let it rot. But the strangest part of all, and maybe the most unsettling, happened the next morning when the creators returned for one last look. Here's what they captured.
So it looks like one light downstairs is blinking, but the upstairs light isn't. This is a house during the daytime. Timer maybe? I don't know. But as you can see, it's definitely grown up. Okay, let's get the hell out of here. Screw this place. So one light is on, blinking, but the upstairs and the downstairs second light that was blinking is not on.
Viewers got into overdrive and started picking out even more details, pointing to shapes, shadows, and faces that the creators hadn't noticed at all. And while the creators haven't posted any updates since then, these videos still circulate and continue to raise questions. Was something hiding in plain sight all along? Or is there a more rational explanation behind the flickering lights and shadowy figures? This one remains a mystery. In the following video, a woman who goes by the nickname Bulldog Mom is in her kitchen, casually watching a Mr. Balance story on her phone when she hears her daughter shouting in the living room. Watch. What's disturbing about this is that the noise only happens when she's home alone and never when friends or family are around. When she posted the clip online, viewers jumped in with theories. Some suggested it might be a spirit trying to communicate. Others urged her to dig into the house's history, just in case something traumatic ever occurred there that left an imprint. But here's the creepy part. There's no pattern and no timing, just these random bursts of noise. She has reached out to a medium in hopes of getting some answers about if there's a spirit present and what exactly it wants. Until then, she's keeping her phone close, in case the noises return. This next clip was recorded around 3 a.m. when Kurhaz's young daughter suddenly wakes up, and what follows is hard to explain. Have a look.
It ain't nothing, babe. It's a dirty hand.
No! No!
It's the cover, look. It's the cover.
No!
You gonna mommy?
No, no, no.
It's dirty hand. It's my hand.
The little girl looks terrified, and she's staring at something no one else can see. She says she feels something touching her, but there's no one there. According to Kurhaz, this has been happening for weeks now. Every time around 3 a.m., her daughter wakes up terrified, unable to speak clearly, shaking and clutching her arms like she's being grabbed, and it doesn't end quickly. On this particular night, it lasted until 9:45 a.m., and she wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, wouldn't sleep, and neither could her parents. Kurhaz writes, "As a mom, it's so hard to hold it together when something like this happens. They've taken her to several doctors, but every medical test comes back normal with no physical symptoms or psychological diagnosis. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. A neighbor mentioned something that made all this make sense. Apparently, the land their home was built on used to house an old orphanage that burned down over a century ago. Several children were trapped inside and never made it out. And now, every night at 3 a.m., her daughter seems to respond to something only she can see. It's as though a presence is reaching out to her, another child perhaps, who didn't want to be alone. Kurhaz contacted their family priest, and they performed a spiritual bath and house cleansing. Since then, things have been quiet. Just like the last clip, in this next video, Chandler is folding clothes when she hears her daughter, Nellie, yelling from the living room and arguing with someone. Thinking her little girl was just playing pretend again, she goes to check, only to find this. Nellie is yelling at someone or something, insisting it isn't their turn on the swing. But here's the disturbing part. They were completely alone in the house. And what started as a harmless outburst quickly spiraled. Nellie broke down crying uncontrollably, that Chandler had to drop her phone and rush to comfort her. But it took hours before the little girl could calm down. Even then, she kept pointing at different corners of the room, screaming, "No!" at something no one else could see. After finally falling asleep, Chandler reviewed the footage and shared it online. That's when viewers noticed something unsettling. Nellie didn't just fall. It looked like she was pushed. Chandler still doesn't know what her daughter saw that day, but Nellie hasn't played in that room since. Whatever she was pointing at, it made her cry like she was being warned, or worse, threatened. And if she really was pushed, it raises a darker possibility. Maybe it wasn't just a tantrum, and maybe something wanted her off that swing. But like other videos, I'll let you decide. In this next video, Silva is winding down for the night after hosting a small girls' night with her friends. The house is quiet, everyone's asleep, and she's doing a final sweep, switching off lights, powering down devices, and clearing up a few things before heading to bed. But then this happens.
Oh my god. No les miento. No hay nada prendido. Like, the TV's off. The computer's off. That phone is off. ¿Y si oyeron lo que se oía? Les voy a enseñar acá. Like, everything is off in here too. The kitchen, la idea está abierta porque la dejé abierta.
Even though every device was turned off, the TV, the speakers, even the phone, She could hear voices that sounded like someone was speaking. On the television, that was clearly powered down. So where was the sound coming from? Some viewers suggest it's the mirrors that are amplifying or even channeling energy from another realm. But not everyone buys that, and in Silva's case, it's hard to ignore the possibility. She later revealed this wasn't the first time strange things have happened in her home, and that she's been haunted for nearly 3 years. So while many urge her to move, she claims the presence in her home doesn't feel hostile, and that being haunted is just part of her routine now. But here's the question: can someone really get used to being haunted? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. If there's one thing that's helped prove the paranormal exists, it's cameras. Because while we might blink, turn away, or sleep, cameras never stop watching, and sometimes they catch things we can't explain. Dan had always told his friends there was something off about his house. Doors would slam without warning, lights flicker, but only when he walks past them. And late at night, the sound of someone walking down the hallway, even when he was the only one home. Still, his friends weren't convinced. So one night, before heading to bed, Dan sets up a camera and then this happens. Watch closely. The door doesn't just shut, it slams with force. And if it had been a draft, the nearby blinds and other things around the area should have moved, but everything else remained perfectly still. Now, combined with all the other bizarre incidents he'd experienced in that house, this footage sealed it for him. He was convinced something was living there, and it wasn't human. The following month, Dan and his family packed up and sold the house. Let's just hope whatever was inside didn't decide to follow them. There's something eerie about buying secondhand items, especially when you don't know where they've been or what they've been through. In this next clip, a man named Luke captures something bizarre happening with his washing machine. For context, he picked it up from a local thrift store a few weeks ago, but ever since bringing it home, he's noticed something isn't quite right. One quiet morning, Luke is on the phone in the living room when he hears an odd sound coming from the laundry area. So he grabs his camera and starts recording. Have a look.
My dryer is not even on and it's doing this noise.
Despite being completely empty and turned off, the machine keeps making this strange noise. What's even stranger is that every time Luke approaches the machine to check it out, especially when he opens the dryer door, the noise intensifies, as if whatever's inside doesn't want to be disturbed. He's had it checked twice by different repair specialists, and both times they said the same thing. The machine is in perfect working condition. So if it's not mechanical, then what is it? Luke is convinced there's something paranormal at play, but some viewers have offered alternative theories ranging from trapped air to magnetic interference. Whatever the truth is, no one really knows, and like many of the videos we've seen, this one remains unsolved. This next video comes from a well-known fitness coach, famous for his intense, no-excuse workouts. But one day, it wasn't the gym that had him sweating, it was something else. On a regular day, while cleaning his house one afternoon, this happens.
Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters, apparently, because I've made many videos in this house and I have never had any type of ghost activity. meaning can't see nothing, there's nothing to be heard on the thing, because I know sometimes cameras and voice recorders pick up other noises. Check this out. So here I was recording on Riverside. Listen to this. Tell me if you don't think it's spooky. It keeps going after that little clip I showed you. There's no kids in the house. Partner's not doing anything. I think it's time to do a cleansing. Or Ghostbusters. Somebody come get this thing out my house. Ugh.
If you listen closely, you'll hear a strange, unexplainable sound echoing through the house, and it clearly caught him off guard. He immediately stopped recording and reached out to a local ghost hunter, and also scheduled a full house cleansing, just to be safe. When he posted the clip online, many viewers said the sound felt peaceful, like a calm, protective energy, but he's not buying it. As he writes, "Ain't no spirits, good or evil, living in my house." After the cleansing, he hasn't heard anything like it since, and he hopes he never does again. On July 9th, 2025, a ghost hunter named Moxley sets out alone into a forest known for something few dare to even speak of, a haunted underground tunnel. Locals avoid the area entirely, but Moxley decided to explore the forest at night. Over the years, there have been countless reports, sightings of a woman in a red dress, shadow figures weeping, screaming, and most disturbingly, laughing. But no one stays long enough to get answers. He begins by investigating the forest perimeter, calling out to whatever might be there and inviting any presence to respond.
So you were a soldier. What year do you think it is?
Darkness.
Darkness. Can you see me? You see what I'm doing? Can you come and show yourself to me? Show me who you are.
Still hoping to communicate, he steps into the tunnel, but the moment he sets up his gear, everything shifts. He described it as an overwhelming wave of fear, like someone was standing right behind him. But when he turned around, no one was there.
Who's here? That's literally giving me goosebumps. Is there someone here? Turn me back again. No, seriously. Who have I got to be wary of? Every single time I turn me back. Can you tell me his name? Tell me who you are. Every time I turned my back then, there was a noise behind me like something was moving towards me. Was that you moving around behind me? If it was, can you tell me who you are? Move this camera back a little bit. Last time I was here, you said this was your grave? If I'm correct.
Am I dead?
I can't really answer that one.
Out.
Out. Do you want me to get out? Do you want me to leave? I'll leave if you want me to. This camera keeps losing focus. Tell you what, I'll leave if you want.
Shaken, he went back to the forest and encountered something even stranger, a conversation with a spirit that left him with more questions than answers.
It's been said that you like to scare people out of this place. Last time I was here, I said it earlier, you scared me out of those tunnels. Was there something with the tunnel? You're protecting something down in the family. You're protecting your family. Was your family buried down in the tunnels? I keep saying tunnels, there's just one tunnel. Was that your family's burial ground? Are you happy that they started to plant new trees here? Trying to save the land? Maybe you won't be so angry trying to scare people away. I might come back here and camp right in this spot. Would you be okay with me camping out here?
They killed me.
Right, I got that last time they killed me. Who killed you? Tell me their names. You said that last time I was here, that somebody killed you out here. Tell me their names, tell me your name. Getting that weird feeling like you're being watched. Are you watching me?
Still searching for clarity, Moxley made the bold decision to return to the tunnel, and that's when things took a dark, terrifying turn.
Oh, I can't stand in this.
Will you stay a while?
I can't stay in here for a while. This absolutely stinks. Right, this smells of sulphur. And it just smells of pure death. Can you stay a while? I don't think I'll be staying down here. I'm gonna go back upstairs. I can't cope with this smell. No, I need to go out. What the? What the? What the? What the? You there? You playing with me? Right. No. Let's get out of here. That stunk.
He started smelling sulfur in the air, and as they say, when you smell sulfur, the devil's not far behind. Suddenly, he felt a cold breath brush the back of his neck, but when he turned, there's no one there. This time, he didn't ask questions, he left immediately. Could it have been the woman in red who many say is the guardian of the tunnel? Or is there another explanation for what happened down there? Let me know your thoughts on this one. The following video was captured by Sammy's mom on a weekend, hours after she had just finished decorating the house for the little family get-together they were hosting. Sammy wasn't back from a few errands she was sent when her mom called her on the phone saying some strange things were happening in the house. Sammy told her to record whatever it was, and this is what she sent.
Okay, I look over and I see this. Now it's slowing down. There's nobody around playing with the chords. And it's still moving. Ever so slightly.
The hallway lights were moving in a slow, deliberate rhythm, and there were no open windows, no vents, and nothing else in the room was moving. It was as if something had chosen the lights to make itself known, and this kind of isolated movement, especially electrical fixtures, can indicate the presence of an energy trying to manifest itself. By the next morning, Sammy was alone in the house, and it was her turn to experience what had now become a terrifying pattern.
So I'm here by myself, and I'm hearing like weird noises. That noise that you just heard is my dog down there. But I'm hearing like whispering and like things moving around about in that direction. I don't know. My dog's ears are up because I think he can hear it too. Okay, I have no clue what that was. Is that you making that noise? No? Okay. What? I have no clue what is going on.
It started with a soft voice, distant but steady. Then it sounded like someone was humming and whispering. The truth is, hearing voices is disturbing on its own, but when the family dog reacts and starts staring into corners with ears perked and tail down, it's never a good sign, and usually means one thing: something's really there. A few days later, it escalated.
So I decided to visit my best friend after work today, and I got here before they did. And there's literally, I walked in here and like something started knocking on the back door back there. You can hear it. Stop! Now, okay, so you might think it might be the neighbor or something, or like a dog or something at the door, but look. We're on the second floor. And there's like literally nobody. There's like nobody here. And I'm by myself.
Their first experience was with light, then voices, and now knocks. In many cases, these knocks aren't just noises, but intentional communications, a way of letting you know you're not alone. At this point, people Sammy had shared the videos with urged her to sage the home, because spirits like this tend to feed off fear and attention, and the more you acknowledge them, the stronger they get, and they were right. A few nights later, she heard a sound like someone crying inside the small storage room, but when she got closer, it stopped, and she caught this on camera. After this strange activity, a new theory began to surface. A lot of people started voicing their opinions, saying maybe it wasn't just the house, but the spirit was attached to Sammy herself. She wasn't ready to believe it, but after visiting a friend's home to get a break from the chaos, something unsettling happened there too.
So, I just recorded a video in my bathroom about the situation that happened the other day about the shower curtain. And little disclaimer here before I show you that. This is the only light switch for this bathroom. Like, there's no light switch out here on the wall or over there. There's no other light switch. This is the only one for this bathroom. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay. Hey guys, back in the bathroom again. So as you saw in the video the other day, something happened with the shower curtain. So we're gonna have a look at it and see if there's anything in the shower. It's a fine day. So we looked in here last time and there wasn't.
This was a completely different location, and at this point, Sammy wasn't only thinking about cleansing her house, because if the spirit is really attached to her, she needs to find a solution to that as well. This was certainly a case of attachment haunting, when a spirit forms a connection to a person rather than a place. Most times, it starts with environmental activity, but when the person leaves and the entity follows, it becomes something much more serious. Before leaving her friend's place, Sammy sent her footage to a ghost hunter for a full review, and he confirmed that those comments might be more than just speculation. We can only hope she gets the help she needs before the spirit makes its next move. This next clip is about a single mother named Sydney who lived with her young son in a house that is over 100 years old. From the moment they moved in, Sydney sensed something wasn't quite right, and this wasn't just creaky floors or flickering lights. There were nights when she'd walk into her son's room and find dirt and soot scattered in perfect circles on the floor. Once, she even discovered a pair of muddy handprints on the ceiling above his bed, handprints too small for an adult, but with 6 fingers. But the most unsettling thing was that, at least twice, she walked into her son's room and found every single toy positioned upright, all facing the same direction toward the hallway, as if waiting for something. After a few days, the activity stopped and things felt normal again, so Sydney went back to taking night shifts while her sister came over to babysit. One night, her sister and her son were curled up on the couch watching SpongeBob when this happened.
SpongeBob night.
SpongeBob's awesome.
Liam, come here. Liam, right now. What is happening? Okay, I'm calling your mom. Just stay right here.
The empty rocking chair suddenly began to swing back and forth like someone was sitting there, enjoying the show. And you know the saying, you should never leave a rocking chair empty, because doing so is an invitation spirits rarely turn down. Sydney's sister contacted her immediately, and she told her sister to grab her son and head straight to a friend's house nearby. There was no way she was letting them spend the night alone in that place. The next day was a Friday, so Sydney decided to stay with her son, and this time she set up a camera in the living room. This is what she caught. In old houses that are already layered with so much time and energy, spirits don't just exist, they compete, so throwing things could be a warning, a tantrum, a demand for space, or worse, a sign they're becoming stronger. After reviewing the footage, Sydney contacted a professional ghost hunter who arrived the next day, and what he sensed wasn't just a single entity, not even 2. There were 7 distinct spirits in that house, some restless, some angry, and some, he said, didn't even know they were dead. Cleansing a house with that much activity won't be easy. In fact, experts say that in older buildings, spirits often resist being forced out. Some return, some retaliate, and some never leave at all. We wish her luck. The following clip is about Emma, a simple lady who had been disturbed for weeks with strange noises, shadows where there shouldn't be, and a lingering sense that something was always just behind her. Coincidentally, it all seemed to start after her sister moved out of the house, leaving something behind, a Ouija board. Ever since then, Emma's home has felt off, like someone else or something else moved in. Now she's asking for help. not just to stop the haunting, but to understand what exactly she's living with, because what she's been experiencing so far, it's not normal. One of the most chilling things Emma talks about is the mimicking activity. She says she hears her daughter calling out to her, sometimes from the bathroom, sometimes from the stairs, but when she checks, her daughter isn't even home. This is a paranormal activity often linked to malevolent entities. You see, spirits capable of copying voices often do it to draw people in, break their guard, or cause confusion and fear. One day, Emma was able to capture this on camera.
You guys, I'm freaking out. Okay, my son is gone. He's not home. He's at a party. Yeah, I know I look like shit. I don't care. I just got woken up. There's been a mimic here for a couple weeks. When my daughter's not here, I hear her say my name and she's not there. I ignore it because I know it's a mimic. I have seen it on here. My daughter's home, but my son's not home. My son is the only one that lives upstairs. The only one upstairs. All night since he's been gone, I keep hearing like the door close. Like it'll just shut. But sorry. So anyway, so my son's not home, but I keep hearing the door shut. But there's nobody up there. There's nobody up there. I'm gonna see if I could try to. And let me take you guys. I'll take you guys up there and show you there's nobody up there. But let's see if we can catch it. I'm so scared. Normally I don't get scared, but hearing the door close like a freaking human is up there, and I already went up there once and I checked and nobody or nothing was up there. So I went up there and I checked all the rooms and in the attic and there's nobody up there, but I keep hearing his bedroom door close or like somebody's walking up there, but he's not here. I don't know what my dog's barking at. But I hope we catch it on camera because this is freaking creeping me out. The stairs right now. Did you hear that? It sounds like somebody's walking up there. Bro, my eyes are watering. This is scaring me. Hold on. Oh my god, as soon as I stopped it, I heard it. I know you guys heard that. I hope I caught that. Did you hear it? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm scared. Okay, I'm gonna turn. Look, nobody's up here. Oh my god. Look at his door is closed. Oh my god. Nope. 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 I gotta tell my daughter, boo-boo. Oh my god. There's water in my eyes. Oh my god. Why does it sound like, and I recorded it. It sounds like somebody's in your brother's room. And I went up there to show that the door was closed. Tell me why his door opened when I went up there. I swear. I ran down here by myself. I'm recording it. Come up there with me to show them nobody's here. Oh my god. That made my eyes water, you guys. I showed it on camera. My son is not home. I'm not going to stop the recording just so I can show you guys.
That's scary.
I know, I ran down here. I ran down here so fast. Okay. Oh my god, that scared me. And it sounds like somebody's walking around up there and I got it on recording. Yes, hold on. Look at his door's moving. Okay, we're gonna go up there and I'm gonna show you guys nobody is in his room. He is not here. turn your flashlight on. Oh my God. Hurry up and come up here so you can point it to show nobody's in the room. Look. Look. Nobody's in here. Nobody.
Look, even Pixie.
You guys literally, you seen that in real time with me. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. Oh no. I told you guys. And there's been that mimic. And my daughter has heard it when I'm not here. It says my name, or it says her name in my voice when I'm not here. And it says my name in her voice when I'm not here. And, or when she's not here. And now that's happening. Look at my dog. Well, fuck no, fuck no. Fuck, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm not coming under the side of the house no more. Oh my God.
In the paranormal world, doors don't just shut for no reason because spirits are believed to manipulate energy, using it to isolate or intimidate. This was especially terrifying for Emma because there were no windows open, no fans, no one else in the room, and the footsteps only made things worse. Emma also noticed her dog was always staring at the attic door every single night, so she took a phone and went there.
Okay, I gotta show you guys this too. So that video of, I'm telling you my house is haunted. Look, up here, there's the attic. I hear noises up there in my room, and so does my dog. Look, there's my dog. Okay, hold on. He's been doing this crazy thing lately. Look. Like he hears something up there. Come on, you guys. Like, there's nothing in my attic. I've shown you guys this in videos in the past, but he's going crazy. Like, look, he even broke my TV recently because he fell onto it. But it's like he's hearing stuff in the attic, and he's like whining at it and barking, and he's jumping up at my light to get to whatever's in the freaking attic. He broke this piece off. So this piece was part of that. And because he's been hearing whatever he's been hearing the past like week or two in the attic, he's going crazy and jumping up at it. He ended up pulling this down, but that's what he keeps doing. I'm so glad I caught it on camera. I'm so glad. Like this, like I just got home. I've been at my daughter's the past couple days because of it. But like, look at him. He's going crazy over whatever he is hearing up there. Okay, I'm gonna take you up there and show you. There's nothing and nobody in there. So why is my dog freaking out? All of this stuff happening is freaking me out. Hold on. All right, so let me show you guys. So this is the stairs, right? It leads down the stairs. Okay, that is our spare room. That's our attic. This is my son's room that was happening in when he wasn't in there. But now that he's home, it's happening in the attic. I'm not gonna stop it, but I'm gonna show you guys. Watch. That's how we keep the attic closed. Scared. All right. I have the chills. I don't know if you can see, but I have the chills so bad. I hate coming up here. This is my attic. Okay. Over there, that is my bedroom. That long heater thing, that's the heater that divides my bedroom and the dining room. That's where my dog is hearing something. And when he hears it, he's jumping up and going crazy, and it sounds like footprints, just like what was in my son's room the other day. It sounds like there's someone up here like walking around, because you can hear like, see on the board. And then my dog will hear it, and my dog will go crazy. As you can see, it just happened, and my dog was just going crazy. I'm closing that. I do not like being in here ever since this has been happening. So, as I said, and then that's the spare room. The other day, that door opened, and this door is not easy to open. Like, it has a lock and everything. And the only thing in here is our dragon's tank and a bed. The paint is messed up, I know. My niece lived in here. She started repainting it, and then they moved out, and now that's what it looks like. But so that's all that's up here, and all these doors are always closed. I told my son, I showed him the video of what was going on in his room the other night, and he even said that his door sometimes would just open out of nowhere, and he was wondering why. And he has been hearing things too, which I never knew because he never said anything to me until recently. So we're all hearing this. at the house. I need to cleanse this house or something because I cannot be here much longer with this. Neither can my kids. Like, we're getting so scared of being here.
Now it's one thing to hear things, it's another thing when your kids start hearing the same voice calling them from different corners of the house. It got worse when her son showed her marks on his back with no idea how those marks got there. She also continued dealing with doors closing upstairs when no one's up there and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. Even when she's alone, at this point, Emma didn't feel safe anymore. Not for her, not for her kids, not even for her dog. She reached out to their family priest, and thankfully, she now has a date set for a full spiritual cleansing. Based on the voice mimicry, the door movement, the scary marks, and the dog's constant reaction to a specific spot in the house, I strongly suspect this is more than just a spirit, it's a demon. The following video was captured by a woman named Carrie Ann, a mother who has known since the earliest days that her daughter was different. It started when her daughter was just a few weeks old. Carrie would find her staring into corners, giggling, or waving at things no one else could see. Carrie assumed it was nothing but the usual baby behavior until her daughter started describing people who weren't there, people who had been dead for years. At first, it frightened her, but after a while, she began to accept it and became convinced her daughter wasn't just seeing things, she was seeing spirits. One afternoon, on what seemed like a perfectly normal day, Carrie and her daughter went to visit Carrie's father's grave, and this happened.
Are you talking to the little kids? You say hello. Yeah. So she totally just stopped at this kid's grave and started talking to it. And of course, I didn't record it. Be nice.
When Carrie uploaded the footage, the responses and comments were overwhelming, but the majority agreed on one thing. The little girl is a medium. And here's the thing about mediums, many believe they're born with a thin veil between this world and the next, able to sense what others can't. Some even say they're messengers, while others say they're guardians. Whatever the case may be, we can only hope this little girl gets the guidance and support she needs to develop her gift, because this kind of gift, as strange as it may be, doesn't come to just anyone. You ever walk into a place that's beautiful on the outside, but something just doesn't feel right? Like the air's a little too still, and your gut tells you to stay alert? That's exactly how Jason Miller felt the first time he stayed at his friend's house. From the outside, you'd never guess. It's the kind of property you'd see on a postcard, surrounded by woods, with a koi pond, a fire pit, and a guest cabin. But for some reason, at exactly 9:30 p.m. every night, strange things begin to happen that make you feel something else is there too, something uninvited. Every night at exactly 9:30 p.m., the energy in the house shifts. It starts with cold spots, even in the middle of summer, then sometimes it's a strange smell, not mildew or anything you can explain, more like rotting flowers or burnt hair. Even the clocks in the house, no matter how many times they were replaced, would stop ticking at 9:33, and phone batteries drain out of nowhere. At first, they joked about it, but after one of their friends left the house one evening, right at 9:30 p.m., no one was laughing anymore. The rest of the group stayed behind, watching the security camera as she walked to her car, and what they saw still gives them chills. A dark, fast-moving figure passed, and a few seconds after they saw it, they saw wet footprints appear on the deck, but no one had come out of the water. After that night, the homeowner began thinking about selling, but Jason needed answers, so he contacted a local ghost hunter to investigate, and the findings were disturbing. Years ago, 4 men had been assassinated in that very house. No memorials, no headlines, just silence, and a history buried under renovation. That discovery changed everything, because now there's no more room for doubt. The nightly occurrences, the shifting energy, the figure on camera, none of it was coincidence. They are all paranormal activities, caused by not just one ghost, but 4. This next clip was recorded by a man named Elias, who had recently left the busy city behind and moved to a remote village tucked deep in the Austrian mountains. His nearest neighbor was a few kilometers away with no streetlights and no traffic, just a thick forest, endless silence, and something else. For the first few months, strange things happened. Lights flickering for no reason, distant knocks at night, and odd animal voices, but he brushed it off as just part of living in the wilderness. The price of peace, as he calls it, until one day he stepped into the bathroom, opened the window, and heard this.
Was zur Hölle? Das kommt vom Void, Alter.
It sounded like thousands of people screaming, like a stadium during a goal, but 10 times louder. And before anyone could argue it was just a local match or a concert, Lucas was clear. There were no soccer fields nearby, no events, no festivals, no reason for such a sound. It terrified him, especially because deep down, he'd always felt like he wasn't supposed to be there, and it didn't stop. It kept happening, night after night, sometimes for over an hour. Eventually, Elias decided he had to see for himself, so he took his camera and went into the woods.
So, today I heard the I don't know, voices or the sounds too. Like the other day, it was for like an hour or something, and I'm walking now in the forest, and the weird thing. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, and the weird thing about forest, or about the noise, like when I got in the forest. No, it's okay. When I got in the forest, it stopped, and I think I heard something. Like when I before I recorded, there was just a weird sound. And that's because I recorded, or I started the recording. Sorry for my poor English. I'm not the best at speaking English. Ich spreche eigentlich Deutsch, lol. I think I heard something. Like it rained for like half of the day. Just because everything here sucks. What the Okay, no. I think it's time to go. Nope. It's very... Nope. I know I'm not like in a horror movie or something. I don't go to this weird noise. When I hear it, I just go. I know it's time to go. Yes. When I don't post on Reddit anymore, you'll know that I died. Oh, what the
It sounded like people chanting or spirits crying out through the woods, and it didn't happen once, but 3 times. At this point, he was convinced he had to listen to his gut, so he packed up and left, and honestly, can you blame him? When you're alone in a remote mountain village, hearing what sounds like spirits screaming, or an occultic group, in a place with very few people, your mind starts to put pieces together, and none of the possibilities are comforting. The following clip was recorded by Matt, a young man whose family had gone on vacation, leaving him home alone for a few days. Now, Matt isn't new to paranormal activity. In fact, he's had a few brushes with strange activities, but nothing frequent. until his birthday week. At first, he didn't mind the silence, but as his birthday drew nearer, the house began to feel different. One afternoon, while he was relaxing in the living room, something strange and terrifying happened.
Bro. Move it again. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. In the name of Jesus, I banish you back to where you've come from. I banish you back to wherever the came from. This is not your house.
Being deeply religious, Matt did what he could, praying and commanding whatever it was to leave. But just when he thought the energy had passed, something else happened.
What was that, Tiberius? What was that, Tiberius?
Fundamental questions that we need to know as voters.
TV's too
per
loud.
economic
Bro, I
growth.
just heard
What is an opportunity
something
economy? What does that mean?
crazy,
bro.
I'm home alone. Home all alone.
The economy was higher, inflation was lower.
Bro, I'm telling you.
Things were better overall, and now with Kamala's administration,
Bro, I'm telling you.
so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
Race baiting and fear mongering was a big part of her tactic tonight. I think he was gaslit during the entire debate, and that was probably why he was so defensive.
Bro, what was that?
And even when he brought up the topic of race, he brought that up because she's pandering.
Yeah. Look, these voters saw something about it, and we perhaps didn't. Kamala Harris was like an Oprah Winfrey quote book. I mean, she was just spewing these worldwide. It didn't resonate. A lack of specificity.
Did you hear that? What the? What? What the was that? Nah, bro. Yo, what the was that?
If you listen closely, you'll hear it, a whisper, low and chilling, saying, "Here." Now, most people would have packed their bags and left, but Matt stayed, thinking he could handle it until the next sign came, and this time, it was harder to ignore.
I don't know what's going on with these dogs, bro. They're scared of some. Yo, I'm telling you, bro. That's the second time I heard those bells, bro. The second time. The second time. I'm home all the alone, bro. Nobody is home. Nobody. No one is home. Nobody is home. And those bells. What's wrong, Petey? What's wrong? What do you see? You see something? You see something over here? I'm telling you, those bells, I heard them twice. What the is going on? Petey! 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 Petey, what's going on? The TV turned on. TV turned on. Petey, let's go. Go, Petey. Go. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go out. Go out. What the is going on? What the is going on? What the is going? It turned off. It turned off. Lucy, Bentley, let's go. Bentley, get out. Let's go. Tiberius, let's go. Get the out. Get the out. Get the out. Let's go. Tiberius. Lucy. Oh my God. Charlie, let's go. Come on. Come on, who's home? Come on, who's home? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Come on, T. Come on! Lucy!
His dogs were clearly panicking, and experts in the paranormal world often say that when a dog is afraid, especially without reason, it's often because they're sensing a presence or something dark. And those bells? They're one of the oldest signals of ghostly presence, either announcing arrival or trying to draw attention. Some even say spirits use bells to manipulate energy. One other thing is the timing. The timing of the balls falling on their own wasn't random, and together, all of these strange activities point to one thing: a demonic presence. Days later, things seemed to quiet down, and Matt thought the worst was over, but that's often when spirits become most deceptive, just quiet enough to make you drop your guard. Until this happened.
Bro, I'm playing COD, my whole PlayStation turns off, and this door opens up by itself, and it was closed because what the was that? What? And the light's going again. And the light's going again. And right there is the light switches to that light. And guess what else I'm about to tell you? Nobody's home. Oh my God. What? And the dogs want no fucking part of it. And why is that door open? Bro? It's coming in threes. It's coming in threes. If you don't believe me, nobody's home. There is the notes that my mom left me when they go on vacation. Honestly, I'm scared as hell right now. Lucy is scared as right now too, actually. Oh my God, bro. I really don't want to look behind this fucking door. Oh my God, bro. What the bro? Bro. What the is going on here, bro? I gotta get out of here, bro. I gotta get the dogs. I'm out of here. Let's go. Get up now. Get up, Petey. We're going. Bentley, come on. This way. Let's go. I'm done making this fucking video. I don't care about this shit anymore. I gotta get these dogs out of this fucking house. Get out. Bentley, come on. Bro, it's Friday the 13th too. I just realized I got all the dogs out here. And there's my... Oh my God. Did you guys just see that? Bro! Nah. This ain't a game anymore, bro. This shit is up. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Did you guys just see that light going off in my house?
Doors opening on their own, even though they were locked, lights flickering, always at the same time of night. And most disturbing of all, the activity didn't stop even after Matt left the house. That night, he finally contacted the family priest, and honestly, after everything he's been through, we hope the prayers and blessings are strong enough to banish the demon. This footage comes from a woman named Eliza, and what you're about to see is the final proof she needed to believe what she'd been trying to ignore. Eliza and her brother worked the night shift at a small-town movie theater, the kind of town where everyone's heard the rumors, but no one really talks about them. The theater was supposed to be just a job, quiet, simple, routine, but from the very first night, she knew something was wrong. One night, while cleaning out one of the auditoriums, she heard something no one ever expects in an empty theater: a baby crying. At first, she tried to rationalize it. Maybe a family was leaving late, but the theater had already been closed for hours, so she checked the entire building. every auditorium, every hallway, and the only other person there was her brother. When she told him, he didn't believe her and insisted she was hearing things due to stress, but she couldn't shake the feeling, and a few weeks later, her brother was next to getting the scare of his life. During his night shift, he was alone in the bathroom, mopping up, when suddenly, a thick black cloud formed right in front of him. This was not smoke, it wasn't steam, it had shape, mass, and a very strange movement. This was their breaking point, and a few weeks later, they both left the job, deciding it wasn't worth the unease they felt every shift. But then, months later, a coworker sent them something, a clip. According to Eliza, this was the same dark figure standing in the projection area, and although people who weren't there might try to explain it away by saying it's a bird, a bat, or a shadow, Eliza knew better because she'd seen that shape before and felt its presence. Also, with every other encounter stacked against it, there's no other explanation I can get behind, other than the obvious one. That place was haunted. The following video was captured by Will, a young TikToker who had been quietly enduring something terrifying until it got so bad he finally decided to speak up. For a while now, he could be in his room and suddenly every appliance would shut off. Lights, fan, even his phone charger, but somehow the TV would remain on. At first, he thought it was just faulty wiring or a glitch, but things got worse. He started experiencing a strange, persistent itch all over, and when he visited multiple hospitals and ran countless tests, every single doctor told him the same thing. We couldn't find any cause. They prescribed antihistamines, skin ointments, but nothing worked, and the itching wouldn't stop. Then one night, while all his roommates were fast asleep upstairs, Will found himself wide awake, partly because of the itching, but mostly because he could feel something was off. So he grabbed his phone and hit record. This is what he caught on camera.
I barely had a lot of sleep. A lot of shit's been going on, all the scratching, all the fucking everything. So I'm recording right now just to hopefully catch something, and if I do, I just want to prove to you guys that I'm actually alone. My roommates are all upstairs, so as soon as something's happening, like I'm just watching the friggin' door, as soon as something's happening, I'm booking it right inside there. I'm gonna film all the space, all like everything. I'm gonna close the door right behind me, and I'm gonna make sure that I want to show you guys that I'm actually alone in this. Oh shit. Yo, the light's like turning on and off, bro. The doorknob. Yo, I gotta show you guys I'm actually alone. Look at this bull.
The lights flickered and the doorknob twisted on its own, as if something was trying to get in or out. And when he posted the video online, most of the viewers agreed on one unsettling possibility. If it's itching, it's probably a demon. Also, the doorknob was moving on its own, so it could mean the entity was trying to assert control, a known tactic of malicious spirits to instill fear or break boundaries. Still, not everyone believed him, and a few skeptics commented, why didn't he just go check? Well, Will did go check.
Yo, I gotta show you guys I'm actually alone. Look at this bullshit. Look at this bullshit. Look. Turning on the light as soon as I walk in. Okay, closing the door. Yo. I'm telling you, anytime I walk in, there's like literally nobody. This has been going on for like a couple days now, dude. Look, watch. I'll turn on the light, okay? Nobody. Behind the door, nobody, okay? Going through this freaking door, which is just really scary in here. Nobody. Guys, tell me what the is going on.
The room was empty, the lights were manually controlled, and the strangest part, this wasn't even the first time this had happened, and many of those times Will had been completely home alone. A few days later, he returned home from work to an even more terrifying experience.
So, I just got home from work. Yeah, this is what I came home to. I'm literally only going to assume that my roommates is trying to pull a prank on me. I'm gonna quickly close this, push all this, close this door behind me, just in case anything happens. What? You serious? They're trying to pull a prank. This is one hell of a prank. Oh shit. Oh hell nah. Hell to the no. Everything. Oh my god. I'm out of here. Yep, I am done.
The entire house was a mess, and at first he wanted to believe it was a prank pulled by one of his roommates, but then he noticed something unusual, a creepy, old-fashioned doll. Shortly after seeing this, things spiraled out of control. Will was certain this time a spirit was living in that house with them, so later that evening, he set up a camera in the exact room where most of the strange activity seemed to happen, and what the footage revealed was disturbing.
Alright. Let's get you some camera.
Exactly 2 hours and 18 minutes in, it began. First the lights, then the cabinet doors started opening and slamming over and over again, with no one in the room. After seeing this, Will wasted no time and reached out to a spiritualist for protection, and after a thorough investigation, he learned something shocking. His roommates had also been experiencing strange things for months, but they always assumed it was one of the others playing a prank. Even worse, the house had a history. The previous resident had packed up and left without notice, and never told anyone why. Now, it was all starting to make sense. We hope the protection Will and his roommates received is strong enough to drive this angry spirit out for good. You know how people always say a fresh start fixes everything? New job, new town, new place to live. It sounds good on paper, but for Kenny, that fresh start came with something no one could have warned him about. From the moment he settled in, little things began to feel off, like his phone alarm ringing every night at 3:07 a.m., even when he didn't set it. And the mirrors? They fogged up with handprints too large for a child and too small to be his. Also, his bathroom sink would be filled with dead beetles. But everything changed one morning at 4 a.m. when he was lying in bed, contemplating whether to get up for work or call in sick.
There's somebody banging on my door here. Who's there? Who's there? Who's there? Who? What the? Holy f***, creeps me out, man. What the?
If you listen carefully, just before Kenny opens the door, you'll hear a faint woman's voice, but when he opened the door, no one's there. As the new guy in town, this rattled him, so he told his neighbor about it, and pretty soon, the story spread. Then, one day, on his way home from work, a strange woman walked up to him slowly, then looked straight at him and whispered, "Leave." Kenny turned to see if anyone saw what happened, but when he looked back, she was gone. She vanished, like she'd never been there. He looked around to ask a few people standing close to him if they had seen her, but they all said the same thing. "We didn't see anyone. You must be imagining things." That night, Kenny packed every single thing he owned in that house and never went back. And honestly, I doubt a single one of you would be unfazed in a situation like this.